Oi, oi, alright. How's it going? I'm Grant. You're you. This is Doodle Review, the channel that's willing to talk about any genre, from Kawaii core to post-watershed indie folktronica. I'm willing to talk about that stuff, but today, we're going to talk about the post-dubstep IDM singer-songwriter James Blake. It's been 12 years since James Blake released his debut record. At the time, dubstep was the biggest thing in music, bubbling up from the underground over the prior few years. By 2011, the characteristics of deep, wobbly bass and a snare, third beat on the bar, would find its way everywhere. Blake burst onto the scene marketed as this kind of wonderkind, fusing that sound with a more sensitive singer-songwriter sensibility. And I remember wondering, despite the exceptional quality of that record, whether we'd hear much more from this Blake guy, or if the album was just the manifestation of the dubstep bubble bursting and we'd all move on to a new sound and kind of look back in 20 years and be like, oh yeah, remember that? I guess I wasn't far wrong on the dubstep front. It did kind of fade from the popular mainstream consciousness, at least, not long after that. But of course, James Blake remained, not just maintaining a career with a consistent crop of great solo records, but quietly becoming part of the fabric of modern popular music, producing for everyone from Kanye to Travis Scott, Beyonce and Frank Ocean. At the end of the day, the dubstep association on that first record was probably more marketing hyperbole than anything, but it did represent an era of Blake's music where the foundations of the songs felt driven a little bit more by the beats, bass and instrumental. As his career progressed, Blake has more and more embraced, and gloriously so, his ability to build a track around his fragile and haunting voice, both clean and digitally manipulated. This has led to some beautifully ethereal work over the subsequent few records, but on Playing Robots into Heaven, we get a bit of a return to straight up beat-centric electronica with a little less soul and a little more grit, and it's awesome. I'm not enough of a Blake fanatic to say this as fact, but tell me the lead single off the record might be one of the hardest club-ready tracks we've ever gotten from this artist outside of maybe a remix. Admittedly, it might be a bit of a mislead as a single, as it's really the only example of Blake tackling such a direct banger on the record, but it's a treat to hear him in this mode. Aside from being a rare banger with such an instantaneous hook, Tell Me is a masterclass in taking a single solid riff, that telephone internet style ringing, and moving the pieces around it to keep you permanently on the hook. One of the most magical skills Blake deploys on this record is his ability to move a song from dark to light, or vice versa, and sometimes move it back again without you consciously noticing it. I don't know enough music theory to know if he's truly moving the underlying progressions from a minor to a major, but hearing the opening moments of Fall Back, you wouldn't immediately be able to predict the slow kind of rug pull that is the combo of the bouncy piano and bass parts in its second half. Similarly, He's Been Wonderful starts with this uplifting vocal sample, but slowly these sinister, distorted synth arpeggios come in and just take the piece to a different mood altogether. The second half of the album could be argued reverts a little to type after the fairly bold and hard-hitting first half. I Want You to Know, for instance, feels a lot more of a piece with the softer stuff we might hear on his previous record, Friends That Break Your Heart. It's a vibey track with really cool vocal manipulations, and that's nothing new for James Blake, but even then it's still damn good to listen to. The overall concept of this album is really cool as well. I love the idea of angel wings loading as we hear on that early track, and the final piece, the title track, Playing Robots into Heaven, it sounds exactly that. This is an 8 out of 10. We already knew James Blake was a true gem of modern electronic era, but this album is just another great entry in an incredible canon of music. Cheers for listening to me chat fraff about the record. You've made it this far, but I'm sorry to tell you there is a price to pay. But don't worry, it's simple, it's easy. You just gotta hit the subscribe button, or at the very least tell me what you think in the comments. If you've watched this, if you've clicked on it, even if you've clicked on this by a fucking mistake, just drop a comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of this record, or what you think of my review. Show some love, share some thoughts, or just hurl some abuse in the comments below. There's some videos linked in the description that you might like as well. Check them out. Okay, cheers mate, bye.